Yes, and we are live on the University of Alaska Fairbanks Facebook page. And I am talking with William Hemmen, although I think you go by Will, is that correct?
I go by Will.
And you have a strong force of will because you lift.
You could say the power of will.
The power of will, that's, yes, a willpower. And first off, congratulations, you are in the World Powerlifting Championships, is that correct? And you are traveling to Sweden this week, is that right?
I leave on Friday.
You leave on Friday. And you are competing with powerlifters from around the world to see who can push themselves to the limit, or is it more of just an expression of your inner strength? What is powerlifting?
Powerlifting is the bench, the squat, and the deadlift, and you try and lift the most in each one of those lifts, and then you add up the highest number in each one of those that you are able to accomplish, and essentially that builds a total, and then the highest total wins. So they have it broken up into age groups, and then they have it broken up into weight classes.
So, and I looked at the list. It's like pretty, the weight classes are pretty narrow and specific. So it's people that are right around your same sort of physical stature.
Yeah. So, each weight class is maybe 20 to 30 pounds. So, and I'm technically a junior, so age is between 20 and 23. And then I'm in we say like the 105 kilo class. So I weigh, under 231 pounds. And so in powerlifting, it's the bench, the squat, and the deadlift. And I had my most recent meet was in March at UAF. It was held in the SRC, and there I squatted 667 pounds. I benched 355 pounds, and I deadlifted 700 at a body weight of like 230. So right now, coming into the World Championships, I'm in like 5th place or so. And hopefully with a good day, I can, aim for like a podium position.
Well, Fairbanks is certainly rooting for you. There is no doubt about that. You also graduated from the University of Alaska Fairbanks here with a degree in an area of study that people might not associate with weightlifting.
Yeah.
You're a petroleum engineering graduate, is that correct?
That is true.
And you have a job. You got hired like right away, and you're working here in Fairbanks.
Yeah, I'm working here in Fairbanks. Right. Well, the company's based out of Anchorage, and it's a company that's throughout the West Coast. I work for Kaufman Engineers. I'm a corrosion control engineer. I do a lot of corrosion engineering for Alyeska Pipeline and other pipelines and things like that. I interned with them for the past 2 summers, and this year they decided to offer me a full-time position, so I work for them full-time now. It gets a little tough sometimes trying to, train and get ready for a powerlifting meet like this while working a full-time job, or even school, but definitely making it work.
How do you train? Like, is it constant? Like, does everything that goes into your body, food-wise, drink-wise, breathing, is that all part of your training?
If you want to, go as far down to that, yeah, it can be. I guess a lot of times people don't really understand that, like, there are so many different types of ideas and training styles and methodologies of strength training and, gaining strength and getting stronger. It's not like I go to the gym every day and I like max out on something. There's a very regimented and scientific and research-based approach to gaining strength and muscle. And I mean, like, I may be 400 pounds and I may, lift 400 pounds, or I could be like 200 pounds and I could lift 600 pounds. So, it's not like, and it's, it's a very, we call it programming. It's a very like methodical approach to it. So what I do is I go to the gym 4 days a week. I go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and a session will probably be an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. So I'm not in there like a whole ton of time, but I get in, I do what I need to, and then I get out and I make sure I eat good, I sleep good, and drink enough water. Sleep is a big thing. Like I make sure I get like 8 hours of sleep every night, and that's a big deal. It's nice that I can really eat whatever I want to too. Like as long as I'm getting good food in, I'm not losing weight, I'm not gaining too much weight, and I have enough energy and feel good, I can really, whatever I want to, which is cool.
And you've got to stay within that pretty, because you train to be in that weight class. So you've got to really watch that pretty carefully, I imagine.
Yeah. And like I said, it was the biggest total that wins. So what I really want to do is I want to be at the top of the weight class. Like weight class ends at 231 pounds, and I'm sitting at like 230.
So it's all part
I
of
don't
this.
want to drop too low. I don't want to drop too low, and I don't want to go past that.
When you go in to do a lift of such an extreme amount of weight, is it more a mental preparation, or is it a combination of your mind and all the physical preparation you've done, and they come together in the instant when you're lifting the weight?
There's definitely a lot of like mental game that comes into it. Just being in the right mindset, or making sure that you're at a spot where you're going to be able to execute the lift. There's some, when you get to like bigger weights like this, or you've been doing it for as long as I have, like there's a lot of technique that goes into it that really helps. So I've got it really dialed in and very specific on how I'm going to lift this. And yeah, sometimes you want to have like the right mindset going in. It's a mental game, but sometimes you can go a little too far in the mental game, and then you can start getting in your own head, and then it becomes an issue.
Like you think I'm about
like
700 pounds, like that is what my body is about to do. I would freak out if I was thinking that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, a little more is like the weight's a big deal. It's like you're walking up to the bar and there's more weight than you've ever touched before, and I have to trust the process that I'll be able to lift that, even though I've never done it before. There may be 100, 200, 300 people watching. There may be, maybe in contention for a podium position. There may be somebody else that may or right now, and I need to make the, jump from third place to second place, or second place to first place. Definitely a lot going through your head. Sometimes, the adrenaline can get pumping. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. I've been there and it's gone well, and I've been there and it failed. But, it's sometimes it's a fast moving game. You don't really know what's going to happen, and I try not to be too into my head, but I can definitely see how some people do.
How did this passion develop in you? Because it's not something that everybody wants to do or is interested in doing. Where did that interest come from?
So I went to South Anchorage High School, and I played hockey there. I played hockey like years throughout high school, elementary school, and middle school. And I really liked hockey. And about my junior year in high school, I started going to the gym. It was, like 145 pounds. I wanted to put some weight on. I wanted to get a little bigger for the neck for my senior year season. So I went to the gym, put some weight on, and it was pretty cool. And I had a lot of fun doing that. And then I had my senior year hockey season, and that was fun. Afterwards, I kept on lifting. I thought it was fun. I did a couple of bodybuilding shows just because I thought it was fun to keep on lifting, and my high school had one, so that was cool. And then I got to college, UAF, and I just liked working out. And I didn't really have a purpose to be in the gym, though. I wasn't training for a sport. I was just kind of working out to stay in shape, and it was fun. But I'm like a super competitive person, and I like to compete, and I like to have a purpose to train. So my sophomore year in college, this was probably January 2016. Some guys that were in the gym were like, "Hey, like, you're benching, you're squatting, you're deadlifting, like, and you're pretty strong. Like, there's a powerlifting meet here in Burbank. You should think about, checking it out and doing it." I was like, "All right, cool. Like, I don't know. I've never even heard of this. I don't know what it is. Like, I'll check it out." So I checked it out. I did the meet. I won for the juniors. For like, my age group, I won. I didn't win the overall. I didn't win overall best lifter, but I won for my age group, and I set a couple state records, and it was pretty cool. Like, I was like, wow, this is awesome. And I got hooked. So then I've been powerlifting pretty competitively since then. And currently I'm the number one junior in my weight class in the state. And then I'm, I made the national team when I went to the USAPL National, or USA Powerlifting Nationals in Spokane last year. And then, I'll be going to Sweden this coming weekend. So I never imagined I'd ever make it to this level and, be this far. A year ago, I would would have laughed at you if you had said like, "Hey, you might be on a national team." But it's kind of surreal that it's here now, and I'm one of 4 Alaskans to have ever been on a raw national team.
There's a question posted here. How do you stay flexible while you're building muscle mass?
I guess like I don't want to be hyper flexible because that's like a big thing about lifting big weights, like tension. But I do maintain a lot of my flexibility. Like I can still stick my palms flat on the floor. So I do have some flexibility, but I don't know. I have to stretch quite a bit when I first get to the gym in order to just feel good and like make all the motions feel good and just feel good lifting. I stretch quite a bit at night. Sometimes, if I lift like have like a big day of training, my muscles will get like tight and I might get like sore or something might hurt for a while, and then I realize like, oh, my lower back's kind of hurting. It must be my hamstrings. So then I'll work out for a couple days, stretch out my hamstrings, and then my lower back will feel better. I'm not like ridiculously flexible. Like I can't pop into the splits, but I have as much functional flexibility as I really need, just by stretching and lifting and just life.
So the little bit of research that I did, the powerlifting that you do is not the same sort of weightlifting that we see in the Olympics. There's a difference between the Olympic lifting and the powerlifting, just so people aren't going to be thinking that suddenly you're going to be, pursuing Olympic dreams. You've got a very specific athletic event that you're a part of.
Yeah. So what's in the Olympics right now is Olympic weightlifting, and Olympic weightlifting is the clean and jerk and the snatch. For those of you that are familiar with those kind of movements, powerlifting is what we call the big three. So it's the big three movements: bench, squat, and deadlift. It's not what I compete in. I compete in the drug tested. So drug tested powerlifting. So I'm on a drug testing regimen. People show up and they drug test me, and the federation that I'm part of for powerlifting, USA Powerlifting, it's governed by the IOC, the International Olympic Committee. So, and it's part of the World Games. There's like the Olympics and there's like the World Games. The International Olympic Committee governs both of them. And powerlifting is part of the World Games. And the international meet that I'll be attending is also, it's governed by the International Powerlifting Federation, which is run by the International Olympic Committee.
So there's a huge oversight. Like it's not just for fun. It is really, really highly monitored and regulated competition.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the United States, like powerlifting and strength sports in general are on a rise. Like a lot of people are starting to get into it more, and it's just starting to grow a lot faster, especially with like avenues like Instagram and social media. Instagram is huge for a lot of the strength sports and athletic type videos and pictures and stuff, and just social media like that. And internationally, so in a lot of other countries, they treat it more of a sport. A lot more people are actually involved in it, whereas like here, a lot more people are involved in team sports, which isn't saying that powerlifting can't be a team sport, but a lot more people here play football and hockey and stuff.
When you're out there on the mat, like it is you and it is your mind and the body that you've trained and those weights that now everybody is wanting to watch you lift up. Nobody comes and helps you in that moment.
Yeah, that's true.
What are some stereotypes of weightlifters that you wish people would let go? Like, what are some of those things that you've come across in your career?
Maybe that like I'm a meathead. You know what I'm saying? Like all I do is lift weight. Like maybe that's true. Well, that's not particularly true. There's a lot to powerlifting and training as a sport. So that's something that a lot of people don't understand. Like how much goes into, when I walk into the gym, I'm not just maxing out, or I'm just not just like, I have a specific number and a specific number of sets and reps for that number that I need to do every single time I go in. So there's like a lot of research behind it. It's, people don't realize that. Other
Are
than
they?
that,
Is it friendly? Like, is it friendly competition? You're hanging out with it, or is everyone just so focused on the what they're going to out there to do to compete that there is no friendships that are built? It's like you're your own person. Forget about you. I'm going to win.
in competition, it kind of depends on the person. So, like, it's very easy just to be a nice person out there, make friends. A lot of people are into the same thing you're into, so that's kind of what my approach, like, friendly. Some people are definitely, mean and like not like, all. Those people kind of suck. But sometimes, like you said, you got to be in the right mindset. And sometimes the way people get in the right mindset, they like, they look very intense, or they're not like nice to talk to. For the most part, people in the lifting community, lifting, strength sports in general, are all really nice people. Like, I love the gym I go to, and some of my best friends are at my gym because they're just great people. The gym owner is awesome. Like, people that go to the gym is awesome. So, for the most part, everybody's nice.
Can anybody do it, or is there a physical type that you should have before you begin?
Anybody can powerlift. I mean, if you have access to a dumbbell or to a barbell and plates, like, you can powerlift. That's kind of the beauty of it. I think that's why it's starting to grow as a sport a lot. It's because, if somebody has a squat rack at their gym and they have a bar and plates, like, they can load up a couple plates and get under the bar, and they can do exactly what we do. And they can squat and they can deadlift. So it's definitely, a lot of people can relate to it. Go to most gyms and you'll find a barbell.
Just start doing it. So I know. Go ahead.
As far as like proportions, like, should people be tall or short, or longer femurs or longer torsos? Like, it doesn't really matter as far as like people's actual builds. It's so far and few between. Like, everyone of all shapes can powerlift. Doesn't matter if you're super skinny, or you weigh a little extra, or you're really muscular, or you're really lean, or it doesn't matter. Everybody can powerlift.
So you're traveling this week, and I know that you've got a GoFundMe page, right? So people can support all your expensive travel plans, because you're going to Europe. I hope you got your passport already.
I'm all ready to go. Got my ticket. Yeah.
Can we watch? Is there a streaming thing for the competition? Do you know? All right, great. So people can watch you from there. And I guess the last question I have for you is, do you even lift, bro?
I have been known to every once in a while.
Will, thank you so much for taking some time to chat. It's great to see the variety of people here that attend UAF and graduate from the university, not only going into the professional world to make sure that our resource development stays safe and that our environment stays safe, but also that really explore the limits of what humans can do.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, man. All right. Good luck this weekend. We'll be watching. No pressure.
Thanks. All right. Bye-bye.